people underestimate how long it takes to put on quality muscle. Like these pros on stage have been doing it for 10 plus years. Some of them have been in the game for longer than that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can't get there in 2 years.
Boss bitch. Boss bitch. Welcome to Boss Bitch Radio, you guys. Happy 5:30 o'clock PST time. We are going to be talking today about muscle building for women. And that might freak you out because most of the time I still get women scared of the thought of building muscle. So I'm going to also say in tandem, getting sculpted, toned, and changing the shape of your body. Those are just secret words for muscle building. Okay. So if it makes you feel better, we'll interchange these words, but all in all, at the end of the day, what you're talking about is building muscle. For those of you that don't know this lovely little human right here, this is Alicia Alcantar, also known as
Eash the Beast.
Over on the gram.
On the gram.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Alicia. What are your titles?
Like my married titles? I'm a Mrs.
You're a Mrs. Personal trainer.
Cat mom. Nutrition coach.
Yes.
Bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition coach, personal trainer. Who else is she?
She's a competition coach too.
Competition coach. Yeah.
You do posing. You do all the things.
I do. Yeah. Everything like bodybuilding. I'm
just trying to make you do all the things. And you're like, okay.
It just happens.
It just happened that way.
I don't even know how.
For those of you that don't know, this is also my daughter too. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff with muscle building, but I also want to let you know we are going to do a Q&A at the end. So the Zoomies have submitted some questions. So that's one thing you can do when you join the live podcast on Zoom is submit some questions that I'll have in advance that we can take a look at. And then there's also some here on Instagram that we had some insties put in the question box. So we'll do that at the end. But let's hear a little bit more about Alicia's story because she has been on several times, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute since the last podcast, I feel like.
Maybe
a couple
like
months.
A month or two. Yeah, maybe 2 months.
Okay. So let your audience here know how many competitions you've done.
Okay. So starting off, I've done 4 competitions, I believe. Maybe. Starting in 2019. So 2019, I got the bug. I didn't know what to expect, went into it and was like, I don't know if I'm really going to like this. Ended up loving it and then was just hooked. Actually, I think it was 2018, competed. 2019. And then the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
And then had 2 competitions in 2020. Mm-hmm. And that was the last time. No, I competed 2021. See, I don't even know. Time just goes and
She's
I'm
done
going
some
with it.
She's done some shows.
Time goes and I just go with it.
Yeah, that's kind of just the theme of life right now. So what divisions were you in?
Figure, started off right at figure, just kind of taking the place of what my coach said, aka my mom, and then transitioned into crossing over into wellness. My last show, I think that was in 2021. So I placed both 4th in figure and wellness, and that was going to be my deciding factor. Like, okay, which division do I want to compete in? And I ended up choosing wellness because I just prefer that look for my body. So I've been training hard AF since then. Mm-hmm. I've been in improvement season for a year now. Probably a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I won't compete until next year.
So in this process, so obviously most of you guys know I do competition coaching. So I brought her in and we got her ready for shows and she competed, but I'm not her coach anymore.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which
not many people know that.
No, I haven't told anybody because I guess I assumed you were fine with that. I was never weird about it. I was never not okay with it.
I was so freaked out. I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what's she going to do?
Should we kind of tell them that story?
I think we should.
Okay.
So I brought you over to coffee.
Which by the way, I knew something was up.
Exactly. She probably thought I was going to tell her I was pregnant or something.
Yeah. No, I would have never. I wasn't even, that didn't even cross my mind, actually.
No. But I was just terrified. I was prepping what I was going to say in my head and just like going over it. But I basically was like, I don't even remember what I said.
You said something. I think I brought it up. I brought something up about somebody had switched coaches or something like that.
Yeah.
And I am very much, I don't think I know all the things. And I don't think that my way is the only way or the best way. And so I always have this philosophy that if I have a client that feels that I'm not a good fit anymore and they want to go elsewhere, I have no hard feelings on that. I've even told Amanda, I think I was telling you that.
Yes.
And you said, well, and I kind of looked at you and I go, is that what you're here to tell me? And then you're like, yeah, kind of. And then that's how it started. And I was like, I 100% agree.
She's like, I think this would be amazing for you.
Yeah.
And I was stunned to hear that, naturally.
So tell everyone why you decided to not let your mom coach you anymore.
It's been a while since I thought about this. I think there was some kind of bias there. Like maybe you didn't want to like push me as hard, or you would see how I would be in real life, right? You got to interact with me and you just know how I am. You have a little bit more bias to be like, oh, she's not going to like me if I give her 40 minutes of stairs or whatever, that sort of thing, or cut my food or things like that, and knowing what's going on in my personal life as well. Whereas a coach typically doesn't know the backhand of things of your life. It's just, here's the program. You either follow it or you don't. You get there or you don't.
They have no emotion attached to the process. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, sometimes like I do with my girls in the studio and things like that, but there's a hard line. Like, I am your coach. I'm not here to be your friend. And it was very challenging to coach you because I did not want to cause you pain.
Yeah, like that's my mom.
Not that I want to cause anybody pain, but yes, you are right.
Yeah. And so I figured if I have a different coach that is basically just going to coach me, he's not going to have that bias, or they're not going to have that bias.
Yeah, because we are very intertwined. It's not just, I'm your coach.
No.
I'm your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your boss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your landlord.
Yep.
Right? All the things. And so she's like, my mom just needs to not be in my business for one thing.
I'm just going to kill off one of those.
Right. And it actually, I feel like it was the best thing. I think it was the best thing for you to do that. And I'll 1,000% support, your decisions with that. And we still talk about things, but I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that. Like that's so much pressure.
Totally. It's a stress taken off of you.
For sure.
That's great.
Yeah. So you're working, do you feel comfortable sharing who your coach is?
Absolutely. Okay. So Team Ludacris, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but one of my favorite wellness girls, Marissa Mini Beast, it was her coach. And I just followed the page and was like, these girls are incredible. His wellness girls are just next level.
Unmatched,
and I'm like,
for sure.
I want to be that. And so Miss Cass Gillis, the one who just won the Arnold in Ohio, she is one of his athletes. So it's, I just have faith in the whole process. So I'm like, okay, whatever they're doing, I want to do too.
I want to drink that Kool-Aid.
So let me drink. Mm-hmm.
Yep, totally. So since you've started working with him, you guys did a mini cut, right? So this is relevant to what we're talking about today. And what were his words to you? Like, okay, we got to start here first.
Yeah. He said, I don't want you gaining any more body fat than this. But
how'd that feel?
I was already at the point of, I already did a mini cut. I was at my mini cut.
Yeah, because I think we had just finished one.
We had just finished a mini cut. And
you were not happy about that. And I was like, she's not listening to me. No. Somebody told me something and they're like, oh, she's not listening to you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Now you can deal with that with your coach.
There we go. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so to the plan. I mean, my calories were they were contest prep low.
Tell people what that is. I think it's good to have an idea for perspective.
Okay.
Because we have a ton of athletes that listen, or bodybuilders. So
I think they were at like 1,400 calories, which is very low for me. I'm typically like a 2,600 calorie girly. I can handle a lot of food, but cutting is like a whole nother beast. I was on 6 days of 30 minutes of stairs and then hit cardio burning 300 calories on my off day. So 7 days of cardio for 6 weeks. I was 6 weeks mini cutting. I cut 13 pounds and I was just hungry. I was hungry.
You were hungry. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'm assuming he wanted to see what your conditioning looked like after you dropped some weight. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I do that too with girls sometimes when they're new, because they're like, I think I'm wellness. There's no way that my legs are bikini. And I'm like, well, I can't really tell. We don't have any proof from previous contests to see how lean you get, how much muscle mass, and there's some other ways to check that, but really visually is what's going to be key. So I'm sure that's what.
Totally.
Yeah.
He wanted to see what was underneath.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So once you did that, then you went into plan
off season
grow mode, which
yes.
is what we're here to talk about today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, immediately my calories jumped up to 2,000 calories. I was doing, my cardio got pulled back immediately. It was.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is important for the conversation for the people. I mean, mainly women, but the women that fear eating because they're going to get fat, like eating when their coach increases their calories, or they're like, no, they have this fixated number of carbs that they need to eat to stay lean and this and that. When you build muscle, that is an entirely different beast. Your muscles aren't made out of thin air. And so you have to fuel yourself properly in order for that to happen with other things. And we're going to talk about each of those things, and I'm going to rant about them just like I did now. Okay. So your food got raised to 2,000 immediately.
Yes. And then my cardio was bumped down to, I think, 10 minutes of walking before training, 10 minutes post training, and then stair mill cardio on my off days.
So just a couple days of like
basically nothing.
Machine cardio, really. Okay. Now the purpose for that is because you cannot build muscle and do a shitload of cardio. So when I get these questions in the question box, or people DM me and they're like, I'm training for a marathon. How can I also build muscle at the same time? And I'm going to say, you're going to die trying. Okay. It's likely not going to happen.
Yeah. That's opposite.
Yeah. So intentionally, if your coach is trying to put you in a build phase, your cardio will likely come down. And that is assessed just based off of, I'm sure, some things that he's got going, as far as those go. But for me, is like, how quickly are we putting on body fat? And, that's a lever you pull in order to adjust those things.
Totally.
Yeah. So your cardio came down.
Yeah.
What else?
Food went up, cardio went down, and my body stayed the same. My weight pretty much stayed the same. And it's pretty much stayed the same. I'm on 2,600 calories right now.
So you've been incrementally increasing, and cardio has stayed about the same.
Yes, but I should also note I've been on a meal plan for this entire time. Since January, I've been on a meal plan. That has made a huge difference in my physique and keeping me very lean, not bloated, no GI issues whatsoever. I felt the world of difference.
That's great. Yeah, because you used to do mainly macros.
Yeah, I've been macro girly for like 10 years, 12 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
You're the macro magician too. You and Amanda both.
Pretty much like half my life.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal was just always always out.
I still have her. She's great.
Now, are you getting any like free meals, high calorie meals, cheat meals? How's that right now in your muscle building phase?
So sadly, no, I don't.
Okay.
But like In-N-Out and fries are also like beef and potatoes. So I make it work. Sometimes I fit my macros.
Okay. So she's not listening to her other coach either. I don't feel so bad. Okay. That's great.
I look great. Okay.
You sure do, kiddo.
I tell him, I am honest with my coach. I tell him exactly. And he says nothing about it. He says, we're doing great.
And then when prep comes, he's going to be like, I don't want to hear it.
When prep comes, that's a different beast. That's
do we know when that's happening yet?
No.
Okay. So, this isn't part of the podcast, but we did talk about this already. You're getting breast augmentation
Getting boobies.
in 3 days.
3 days out.
3 days out. You've got your fan club over here on Zoom.
Heck yes. Woo. Everyone is so excited for me.
I know.
I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, look at Cynthia. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that'll be fun. That's happening Friday. You get new titties.
Mm-hmm.
New titties. That'll be how do you feel like you're gonna feel?
My mind.
Yeah, like
I'm very ready for
trying
a
to make
break
words
from the gym. I'm
okay.
ready. Mentally, I'm just like I'm ready to take a little step back. I'm ready to miss it and then get right back into it when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll have your time off. Now, how is that going to play into your phase that you're in right now with muscle building?
Calories are coming down.
Oh, this has already been discussed with your coach.
I've already got the meal plan.
Oh, okay. How much are they coming down?
1,400.
Oh, shoot. Mini cut. Here we come.
Shit.
Okay.
So I'm trying to eat my calories and I am on point until Friday, and then we'll see.
Okay. So your calories right now are about 2,500?
27.
27, and you're coming down to 14.
Yeah.
Yo, that's...
Why does he hate me?
Because you had in and out without his permission.
Shit.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's coming too, which will be fun. But so still no show date, really?
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe starting prep next January and then do the summer shows, but I'm also not like... I can do fall too. I'm not married to anything.
Yeah. I don't blame you. So one thing that's grossly misunderstood is the amount of time that it takes to build muscle.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, you were not born. You were a lanky, skinny kid.
Yeah.
Right. Like, for lack of better description, you were just a very active kid. You were very picky. You ate like 4 foods and you did a lot of activity and you just lived on snacks.
Yeah. So growing up, I started with dance. I did gymnastics, competitive cheerleading, and then I got into powerlifting, and now I'm at bodybuilding. I did 2 classes of CrossFit once, though.
And threw up both times.
Hey.
Which I saw Gio today at the gym.
Oh, did you?
I did. I haven't seen him in forever.
Wow.
It was so nice to see him in chat. But okay, so she has been very active since I took her to dance when she was 3 years old and I had to dance in the room with her. Okay. And ever since then, she's just been doing shit. But my point is that she was very active doing like cheerleading and things, and you stunted and you did gymnastics, so you did have that base from there. But I don't feel like we did gymnastics from a tiny age. You weren't like some of these girls that are tumbling at 3 and doing all the crazy stuff. You did just enough for what you needed to be a competitive cheerleader, which was a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot of flippy floppies all over the place.
Yeah.
So
I definitely built a good base from that.
Yeah.
And then my first show, I had pretty much dieted the whole year and then competed in November, I believe. So it's not like, I mean, I built muscle in that time for sure, but it's not like I piled on like 10 pounds of muscle for my first show.
No.
You know?
Yeah. The powerlifting helped immensely.
Absolutely.
So for those that are listening that, powerlifting is great if you're trying to put on muscle too, but it's a different process and it's not
you're more concerned with strength versus
I'm trying to find the words to describe that. Yes. You're going for numbers and trying to beat basically yourself every time when you're lifting, where bodybuilding is very different from that. So, and with powerlifting, you're not like trying to, I want to hit all 3 heads of the deltoid. Like, no, you're just pressing, you're just pushing, you're just pulling, right? It's very functional strength, but not functional.
You just trying to F up some big weight and then live to the next day.
Yeah. And let all your body parts be intact. But it does transfer over. There is a muscle building component to that I feel was very beneficial for you when you started your foray into bodybuilding.
Totally. Like my first show, what's the first thing you see when you look at that picture? Quads.
Yeah.
It's just quads.
Yeah. It's just quads. They just stick right out. I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my point is that you were not born with those legs. Like, how some kids are just naturally, genetically just stockier, tree trunk legs. That was not you. So that was all time with lifting. for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people underestimate how long it takes to put on quality muscle. Like these pros on stage have been doing it for 10 plus years. Some of them have been in the game for longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you can't get there in 2 years. I mean, there might be some roundabout ways to, but you're not going to look like that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think you have a very good point there. And a lot of times people see that end result, but they don't see all the shit that you did to get there, right? They just see like, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to get on stage. And I admire that people have that zest and fever for like wanting to set some crazy goal. But also it's a lot of time to put in, and you have to be consistent with it. That's the problem, is you can't dabble in it for 3 months and then take 6 months off until January 1st again or whatever. And, just kind of go around like that. It's the constant training.
And you put a lot into it for not a lot of output from it. Like you're in the gym for hours for each day, almost every single day. And at the end of the month, you don't put on just a few pounds of muscle a month. It's way slower than that.
Oh, it's so slow.
With all of the perfect combination of food, your water, your sleep, your recovery, everything's got to be on point for you to be putting on some muscle most times.
So we had this client, if I said her name, you'd remember her, but I'm not going to say her name.
Yeah.
And so she started at the studio and she gained 10 pounds in 3 months. And she says, and she was not doing diet coaching with us. Okay. So I knew, because I talked to her during training, and, I always kind of like, this is a go-to. If you're a trainer, for the most part, I'm going to be like, what'd you eat for breakfast? What'd you have for lunch?
Yeah.
Did you sleep? I'm going to ask you
eat
all
today?
The things, because if you're training like trash, I'm like going to uncover the problem and help you problem solve. Okay. So she says to me that she gained 10 pounds and like her pants aren't fitting in things and she thinks it's all muscle. And I said, honey, boo-boo. Okay. You're 56. You just started training. You are eating too many snacks. Something is happening. Okay. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're kind of right. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm right. Because sometimes what happens when you start weight training, honestly, just exercise in general, but I find, does cardio kick up your appetite very much?
Yeah, a little bit-ish.
Okay. I think if we go long spurts without doing it and then we start to add it in and, it's high intensity, it does. But a lot of times weight training will make you hungrier. You're using big muscle groups. It makes sense, right? So if you're not working with a coach and you're not on track with like, hey, we need to steer your nutrition this direction, make sure that you're eating enough protein, meal plan, macros, whatever, and you're just left to your own vices, you feel strong, you feel great. You're like, I'm going to, eat some In-N-Out every night or whatever. And your appetite kicks up. You're going to be eating more food. So you're not likely gaining, doesn't mean you're gaining muscle.
No.
Definitely not 10 pounds in 3 months. Unless you're juiced out of your gourd with some like incredible steroids and, I don't know, but you have to really be mindful of your food intake, because you will put on weight and it is not muscle. No. And it gets slower the more muscle you have.
Yeah.
So
sadly.
Are you noticing that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel so small in the gym every day.
Yeah.
Just so small.
So small. Okay. Well, shifting gears a little bit, what are the common misconceptions around muscle building? I think we're already kind of covering some of them. I hear a lot, like, let us know something that you maybe thought about weight training, insties or zoomies, and maybe had you hesitate, right? Like had you hesitate like to go into the weight room, or maybe still does. I know I have a ton of lurkers that are on my Insta fam that are like, I'm not, weight training yet. I'm not that brave, but I'd love to know what some common misconceptions are. I feel like a huge one that I hear is I'm going to get bulky.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I wish I could get bulky.
I know. I'm like, I'm trying.
Give me some of that bulk.
I just want my thighs to rub together.
If only women knew, like, that is not what happens. if you want your body to have shape to it, if you want to like look a little bit different or have long, lean, muscular, like long toned muscles, what do you think you have to do to get those? You're going to have to pick up some weights.
Yeah, you're going to have to pick up some weights. I will say that I feel like one of the biggest mistakes that I see is women not training hard enough. And I know we talk about this often. Today, actually, at the gym, so I've been going to the In Shape on McHenry. It was kind of like a weird thing. My regular gym closed one random day. And so I was forced to go to the other location. And I was like, this is kind of nice. Like I needed a change up. I was just like needed a change of environment. So I've just been going there. And I'm like a new fish in the pond over there because not my regular. Yeah. They're not my regular In Shapers. They're like, who's the girl in the pink shorts up her ass today?
Who's the girl?
Who's the girl? Okay. And I'm like, I'm the girl. Okay. And so I have all kinds of new gym boyfriends over there and all that. But anyways, there is.
Were you wearing this crop?
This is what I was wearing.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. Me too.
Wow.
I'm hot mom summer.
Hell
okay?
yeah.
And so I'm in there just doing what I do, which is what you do, where we just know what we're doing when we're in the weight room. I am very comfortable in the weight room. I'm not intimidated. I'm like fucking shit up. I'm like killing people and there's like rap and shit and I'm just like busting caps in people's asses in my head and I'm just parading around like a cute little thing, right? And these 3 people have been there since every day that I've gone. It's 2 women that are, I was thinking about this story on my walk, okay? And I'm like, they're 2 women in their late 40s. That's me.
Oh, that is you.
Okay. And they're with a man. I don't know. I'm assuming it's maybe one of their partners. Anyhow, one of the women comes to me and she says, I love your legs. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she goes, I'm trying so hard, but I just can't shape up my legs. And without a beat, I said to her, is this what you do when you come in here? And I was nice about it because they do the same type of workout every time. They have like a medicine ball that they're throwing. They have a Bosu ball that they use. They're doing a kettlebell thing.
Not the Bosu ball.
And then they're doing ropes and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. They're doing their thing. But she's asking me, right? So she's like, I'm trying. And I said, is this what you do every time you come in here? She says, yes. And I said, well, that's the problem.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah, that stuff, that is not what I do. I'm not doing that to build these. Okay. And she's like, oh, okay. I'm afraid I'm going to get bulky and, my knee bothers me a little bit. And so I'm counseling her on the whole thing. But doing a bunch of the HIIT type workouts like that, spoiler alert, they are not going to build the muscle in your legs. I mean, it'll shape them up. You'll probably maybe drop some body fat, but we are not doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Not even kinda.
So what does your training look like?
My training.
Give us the 411.
Okay. It's pretty much legs every other day with the exception of like back rest day and then legs again. But I hit all 3 glutes, hams, and quads each of these days, which is very different. Typically, it's like just glutes and hamstrings or like glutes and quads or hamstrings and quads, that sort of thing, which I'm used to and I really like. This split's been a little bit different. I'm not in love with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because, do you feel like you're not recovering very well?
I feel like there's too much going on. I want to just localize like, okay, I really want to F up my glutes and my hamstrings. Like those are my main priorities. And like quads are great. Everything just needs to grow. But I like the more like localized approach.
You guys, this is the problem with us is that we're trainers and we think we know more than our coaches who are seeing us from a different light. No.
I know.
That's the problem.
We're our own worst clients.
I am the worst client. Poor Nikki. But anyways, okay. So give us an example of one of your days. Like run us through the types of exercises. You probably have your plan on your phone right there.
I totally do.
Yes. So people have an idea, right? We're not doing a body pump class or, things like that to build our muscle. It's not to say that you can't build a minimal amount, but the kind that most people are wanting to show off the shape that they're looking for is not typically going to come by way of that unless you're super lean and you can see all that happening. So we're doing big, heavy hitting types of weight room exercises
Yeah.
with some, polishing movements. Give it to us.
Okay, so this is the one I did with Lauren the other day on Sunday, actually. It was her first 2-hour leg workout. And yes, it did take 2 hours.
2 whole ass hours.
Hip thrusts. Okay, 4 sets of 8 to 10. So 8 to 10 reps is pretty heavy there. And then seated hip abduction and dumbbell rear lunges supersetted for 3 sets.
Ooh, that's a nasty one.
Standing cable kickback, dumbbell sumo grip. Dumbbell bar grip, sumo squat, 3 sets, superset.
Okay.
45-degree hyperextension, 4 sets.
So that's like barfing cat?
Barfing cat.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Cable RDLs with cable standing hip thrusts, which has been pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
3 sets of that. Leg press, 4 sets of that.
This is all in one day.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Okay. So just so y'all have an idea, okay? All right.
And then
Continue.
dumbbell walking
I'm
lunges.
going to take a nap till you're done. Really? Yeah, that's a 2-hour leg day. And I would have said this. I would have been
Superset.
I would have been like, fuck you and your 2-hour workout.
With
Bye.
leg extensions.
But I'm the biggest baby when it comes to training. So here I am telling everybody not to be little bitches, but I'm the biggest baby of them all.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, the wellness life, you got to do all of it.
Yes.
All of it at once.
So when people come to me and, and they want a physique assessment and they're like, I think I'm wellness, I'm like, no.
It takes a lot to build a wellness physique. It takes, I would say years for, depending on your start point, of course, but like a quality, like just muscular, dense physique, what they're looking for, that's going to take some time.
Definitely take some time, and it's going to come by way a lot of those types of exercises. What are the other big compounds that you do throughout the week?
Barbell squat.
Oh, that's right. You're barbell squatting again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Deadlifts. I was doing a lot of straight leg deadlifts with a barbell and like dumbbell RDLs, like multiple times per week as well. My hip thrusts, and I want to say that's it. Maybe lots of lunges.
No hack squats this time?
No hack squats.
Okay. So the big movers are going to be leg press, hip thrust, hack squat, barbell squat, lunges of all kinds, RDLs. What am I missing? Sumo squats.
Yeah, sumo squats.
Step ups.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that our training works and the way that we program for our clients too, the same thing is you're going to see these more than once throughout the week. If you are really trying to develop your body, you're going to want to spend a little bit more time in the gym doing these bigger compounds. Now, everyone's going to be a little bit different because I get that question often. Well, like how many days and all that, we can take a lot more volume than the average person when they're first starting out because we've been doing it for so long. So we don't get generally as sore as we used to. Sometimes when your program changes and things like that, but I hear that often, I don't get sore anymore. I don't think it's working. That's not the truth.
No.
I'm not always sore. There could be a lot of things that are actually good things as to why you're not sore.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, hopefully you're doing them.
Yeah. Your sleep, your protein, your recovery, your lifestyle, you don't drink, smoke, like things like that. You're going to recover a lot better than the average person that just doesn't really pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
So these things are important is getting in and training. We have clients that train 3 days a week and have crazy results.
Yeah.
But it's because those 3 days that they're coming, they're not doing dumb shit that they would have been doing 5 days a week at
They're
the other
not
gym.
half-assing it.
Right. And we don't let them do that either. I mean, we work within reason. Obviously, we have clients that have injuries and stuff like that. But for the most part, we are going to push you within your specific boundaries.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our girls are some badasses for sure.
Yeah. So when you were little, what did you think of me competing?
I don't think I thought much of it. Like I didn't know it. I didn't understand it. I don't think I've ever seen like a show. But I also did performances, like dance performances. So it's like, oh, mom's going to get on stage in a bikini. Like, okay.
That's totally normal.
Okay.
Doesn't everyone's mom do that?
I quickly realized other people's moms don't do that.
Oh, does anybody say anything to you?
Oh, kids are such assholes, even at young age.
I love this. I'm learning things. Yeah.
Like kids would always be like, your mom's hot. Stop. That's my mom.
Stop. That's my mommy. Yeah. Your brother hears it too. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like I would threaten the kid.
Why
you
not?
don't
Have to. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So what have you specifically feel like you've learned about your body? Like throughout this process?
Ooh, that's a good one. How far I can like push myself without it being too much in like the physical aspect. You know, like while I'm weight training, I can really push to failure. It's going to get like ugly. I might hurt myself, but like I can be that dedicated to the lift, but I'm also not trying to push myself to that point.
Yes.
So I've learned that, like my limits and what boundary I don't want to cross. Because I was a power lifter. I'm like, I am strong, but I have to control that shit. I have to really feel my muscle I'm working. And that involves taking down the weight a lot and just like that mind muscle connection.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, diet wise, of course, when you eat something and it doesn't react well with my stomach, like I've always had a finicky stomach since I was young. So anything I eat, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. I'm not going to eat that next time. Even if it's like we're out at an outing, a restaurant, it's not worth it.
I will say you do have a good gauge for that. More so like you don't let your gluttony where you're just like you have FOMO and like post show, you're just like, oh, I want to, like you'll have a few things, but you know your limits and you'll stop and you don't let it go past a certain like overindulgence where you're sick and all that.
Well, I mean, my last show, I literally overindulged. Like I think I got on the scale, it was 20 pounds over the next day. My stomach, or maybe not the next day.
No, there's no way.
The next few days.
Yeah.
My stomach was so extended. And I think it was just like seeing all the food things on Instagram. I bought $150 worth of PDX cookies.
Oh my God, I remember
still
that.
have one in my freezer.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I ate everything in sight. And I knew I shouldn't have, but I was like, why not?
Do you have advice for people?
Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Don't.
Yes.
And don't follow those pages. Like those food pages are going to be very pleasing in the moment. It's like eye porn.
I had to unfollow all of them last show.
And she would tell me, you can't look at that shit. And you really can't look. I was watching ASMR of people eating and gorging themselves for a living.
Yeah. You guys, bodybuilding is not a healthy sport.
It is not healthy.
Not at all. Just like most extreme sports aren't probably the best for most people. Bodybuilding is no different. It's funny to me how people think bodybuilding is like so healthy. Like
because you aesthetically look like the epitome of health, right?
Well, yes. But
people don't know.
Right.
It's not always
We're
about
saying like competing,
the appearance.
like the whole aspect of like competition and like that whole thing. Bodybuilding as a lifestyle, so great for you.
Yes.
Where we're not taking it to that extreme with show, but lifting and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's pretty hard on your body.
Very. With getting so low calories and just grinding down. Okay. What have you learned about your mind in this process? Because that's the most important piece.
I've learned that I'm disciplined AF. I mean, I set my mind to things and I will do them. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But yeah, I think that's what I've learned. I don't know.
I was talking about this on my interview with Bex. She's actually competing this weekend. So for her, to try to get her pro card. But we were discussing how we both agreed that the habits and like mindset that we have to be effective competitive bodybuilders on stage has transferred over to our personal lives, our business lives, and things like that. And it has worked in our favor for that.
I think 1,000% because I mean, with bodybuilding, you have to be disciplined, right? But it also teaches you how to be disciplined in other areas of your life, like your business, scheduling, keeping yourself organized and on task, because bodybuilding XYZ's got to happen for you to get on stage. In life is like that too. If you got a goal, guess what? XYZ's got to happen. It just don't happen.
Yeah. And I think too, at least for me, you tell me if you agree, is when you get to the tail end of a prep and you are starving and you are exhausted and you're posing and you have to look cute and all the things that come with bodybuilding, everything else feels like a piece of cake after that. Like easy. Okay, piece of cake. That's an old people saying. I just realized you kind of looked at me like, what does that mean?
No, I know what that means.
Okay, like everything else to me, like if I can eat 900 calories a day for 6 weeks and do 2+ hours of cardio and train for an hour and a half, run a business, be a mom, be a grandma, out doing single people things sometimes. I can do, there isn't, I feel like there's not anything I can do.
Absolutely.
Like that's some hard ass fucking shit.
Yeah. To like physically put yourself through.
Yes.
And then the rest is just mental.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. So I feel like
totally.
it prepares you for just being uncomfortable. Not prepares you, but you can handle it. Like you
can handle life's shit.
It builds self-efficacy, like for sure. How has your body image changed over the years? That was a question I wanted to ask you.
Ooh.
Let's talk about body image for a minute.
Okay. Body image.
Yeah. Have you always loved your body?
No. I think that's most people's take on it, you know?
Like what was your level of that?
It wasn't like I never did anything physical to myself or anything. And I had a concept of like macros and food, right? And I would do my macros when I was young. And I was like, oh, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this working? Well, the shit I was eating wasn't working. But I don't know. I never really had a super negative, I guess I didn't. I don't know.
I don't think you did.
Like I did, but I didn't. I'm like, ooh, my legs look good.
I think maybe high school tried to give you,
totally
for like a minute, because that's just, that's just high school.
Yeah.
That tends to happen when you're in your teen years. But
I mean, I was an athlete my whole life. So just like, I mean, I was a little bit overweight, but I was never like big, I carry any like fat typically in my midsection, and that would always get like pretty distended, so that would make me feel uncomfortable. But definitely like I love my body. I try to love it in every single phase. When I'm shredded, I mean, absolutely. I'm like, this is what my hard work is going towards, But even now I'm just like, I love you so much. I want you to grow.
Yeah.
I want you to be big.
It's really like rewarding to watch like the evolution of all the people that I get to be a part of. But it's been especially rewarding just obviously because you're my daughter, but seeing like the evolution from just like this very introverted 3-year-old who didn't want to do anything I said.
Throwback.
And I was like, I promise this is going to be good for you. Like I was just making you do all the things, but just to see you just like take off with it and like, it's you, like, it's not me
totally
anymore, like you can do whatever you want and this is your choice, which is super fun.
I feel like that so much has erupted. Like I've felt that more internally the past few years. Like the more work I've done on myself, I just feel like I'm becoming who exactly I want to be.
Yeah.
And I'm stepping into her. Like I have no fear.
Yeah. I love that.
I love it.
It's so fun. It's so fun. I'm excited. What else? Oh, let's go through some of the questions. I think we covered your whole basic like
background.
Yeah. And going into your muscle building phase.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. One of the questions that came through, how to cheat better when you're away from home.
Okay, yeah, that's a question for Amanda, truly.
She just threw glitter under the bus. It's totally fine.
She would probably have some smart shit to say for that.
Oh, for sure. We need a third mic right here.
To a smart cheat. Okay, like I compared In-N-Out to burger or to beef and potatoes earlier, right? Something of that nature. Like what were you supposed to eat and then eat something comparable? I don't know. But like a cheat to me is like a full-on meal. You got like the big burger with the bacon, the avocado, the egg, and like, or you're having pizza and dessert. So I don't know. The cheat throws me off.
Well, I give some examples, right? Where an easy, if sushi's an easy one to eat and like enjoy and not feel super restricted. Like you could go and have a clean sushi meal without a bunch of shit fried stuff on it
Totally.
and drenched in sauces and all that, right? You can go have a burger and fries and not make it a complete shit show, right?
Yes.
You can go out to a nice steakhouse, have a great piece of steak, a baked potato, some steamed veggies, a nice wholesome meal, maybe a glass of wine or something. Just you have to pick. We talk about being a food snob all the time.
Yeah. Like that's my ideal refeed meals, all of those.
Yeah.
I'm like,
those are the refeed meals I give my clients. I'm like,
steak and fries, please. Give me a ribeye. 12 ounce.
You will fuck up a 12 ounce
Nothing
ribeye.
less.
For sure. We can definitely eat some steak for sure. So it's a matter of not just throwing it out, throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's like a saying.
Oh,
that's another.
No, I don't think that is.
That's a saying. Is that a saying? Beth, that's a saying. Tell me it's a saying. Yep. See, she said yes. Beth. You don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. So my point is like, it's not like, oh, YOLO. Is that better? YOLO. I think that's kind of the same. Anyways, you want to make a respectable choice if your goal is to stay on track with your diet. If you don't care, then eat what the fuck you want. But
the cheat throws me off. Like how to cheat. Like you're going to cheat. Like you're going to go out and cheat.
Yeah. We're going to be naughty. Okay, next question. Why do I still have stomach fat, but everything else looks great?
Well, I mean, that's where most people carry their body fat. And I mean, you just got to get lower body fat.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't, unfortunately, spot reduce, or when you go into a dieting phase, program your body to lose it from a certain spot. Everyone's a little bit different.
Some people have shredded legs and they're like carry most of their body fat on their upper part.
We have a couple clients like that I can think of, so it really just depends genetically. And I know that's not an answer anybody wants to hear, but you can't make it come off one place faster than the other, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you get lipo, then you can, then you can take it off for wherever you want. Okay. Foods and or items to have with you on the go during prep.
Definitely rice cakes.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Like plain rice cakes, chicken, and like fish, but on the go, that maybe like beef jerky. I don't know if you want to do that in prep. Depends on how far out you are. Protein shakes for sure.
Yeah.
Even protein powder to keep with you just in case you need to make a protein shake.
Tuna pouches.
Tuna.
Yeah. When you were competing in Florida, I was in prep. When you were cheer competition, I was in prep and I had to take a bunch of shit with me to Florida. And that was tuna packets, rice cakes, protein powders, and that's about it.
I think for most of our, like, if we ever went somewhere, like you had to take food. Like you always had
my diaper bag.
What am I going to do with my food? And you were always figuring that out.
Yeah, always. Because you guys were you were still doing things. You were in cheer
competitions.
Your brother was in football, dance. Both your brothers were in football. So I was doing all the momming things and also in prep. And so you just have to, it just goes with you.
You have to embrace the suck and do it.
Yeah. And I found, and I think you would agree with me, Monica and I were talking about this too. We're just better if we're not home. Like if all of my food is just with me and I know that this is all the rations that I get for the day and I come home, I have no business being in the kitchen. Just brush my fucking little teeth and go to bed.
Yeah.
Have some tea.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You're outside, you're busy. You can't think about food typically.
Yeah. I'm better the busier I am in prep. How often should you be training? And then second question, do supplements really benefit in muscle growth? And if so, what are they? How often should you be training?
Depends on the goal. Absolutely. If you're looking to put more muscle mass, I mean, you should be training at least 3 days a week. 4 days would be great. I mean, more the merrier, right? But at least like 3 to 4 days a week.
Yes.
If you're looking to put on muscle.
And, too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing. So
yeah, you don't want to go 7 days straight back to back.
And, most bodybuilders are 5 to 6 days usually. But again, when you're first starting out, you want to start slow. If you have done none, do one for a while, 1 day a week, until you build up some confidence with that momentum and bump it up to 2, whatever can fit your schedule. But when people try to go 100% 5 days a week, 4 days a week from nothing,
you're going to crash and burn.
You're going to crash and burn. And that is chaos to your existing schedule and world and body.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of adjustments that have to happen. So you got to be patient with that.
And then supplements for muscle growth. I mean, creatine obviously is the big one. I make sure all of my clients are on creatine. And food.
Yeah, food for sure. Creatine helps. Definitely. We have all of our athletes on that. And then also HMB is another one that's been shown to help for hypertrophy. It's like hydromethylbutate, I don't know, something or other. Simple stuff you can find on Amazon, really.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
And nothing's really going to help you grow per se. It's going to be more so recovering. So it's going to help you recover so that you can get in the gym again to lift harder than last time. And yeah.
Lift harder than last time. That really should be, like, that's all we could have had to say today. Eat food, lift harder than last time.
That's it.
Don't lift like an asshole. I don't know. What else? So many things.
Oh, don't lift like an asshole, please.
No. Okay, we have some cues on the gram. Oh, somebody's asking.
With him?
With your coach, probably.
Oh, I've been with my coach since the beginning of January, like literally December 28th. I was like, let's do it.
This is a good, fun question for you. You have to learn the skill of reading sideways without turning your head.
Well, the people on the podcast can't see me turn my head. Am I not interested in fitness with your background? Oh, like the division.
Yeah.
I was really interested in fitness, the fitness division. So the fitness division has like probably a 2-minute routine that they do with special choreographed moves that are super athletic. Like, I don't know.
They're mandatory.
High kicks and shit. And they're flipping on stage. They're dancing. It's a total performance. I love performing. I told my mom I would want to do that, but I would make up my routine, see the other girls do it and be like, yeah, mine doesn't look like that. I'm like twerking and shit. So I'm like,
hey, I support that. Okay. I think you would have been amazing at that.
I think so too, but my body's tired.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So the fitness division in bodybuilding, like she said, they have like a mandatory routine. So not only do you have to diet down, because they will also judge your physique. So you are like literally being judged as essentially like a figure competitor.
Yes, figure poses.
So you will have to come in condition. So you still have to lift like your normal lifts, your cardio, which sometimes your fitness routine can be used as your cardio, your supplementation, all the normal things. And you have to nail a 2-minute gymnastics routine and perfection and come with like pizzazz and energy and personality and just
and you have
originality, all the things.
It's a performance. You're like in a whole like costume in accordance to your routine.
Yes. It's
pretty amazing.
Yeah. What's the top exercises to build the glutes? I don't want to get a pancake bum.
Well, I mean, hip thrusts, of course. Hip thrusts, then it's all the accessories for the hip thrusts, like accessories for your booty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cable kickbacks are great, but you're going to want to do things like squats, your deadlifts, and then you can add in those things like abductions, which are like the outer thigh machine, the hyperextension, barfing cat, lunges for sure.
Mm-hmm. Obsessed with lunges.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are the big ones.
Those are definitely the big ones. I would say the other important part of that is not only the exercises themselves, but how many sets of them you're doing, how many reps of them they're doing, and how heavy you're going. Those are also the issues. It's not just knock those exercises out. It's like you have to be effective.
Totally. Has to make sense.
Oh, these are like rolling in. Okay. What are the best exercise to build muscle in your arms?
Well, if you want arm muscles, you have to train your arms. Shocking, right? So
arms.
Do not sleep on bicep curls and tricep extensions, okay? Like if you want leaner arms, like if you're on a body fat phase type of thing, do your arms.
Yes.
Do it. I mean, they will totally give it a different look eventually. But yeah, do your arms.
Yeah. And I would add to that, so your bicep curls,
yes,
your tricep extensions, but also your shoulders, because that's going to help round out your arms. So a lot of times women see athletes or competitors and they're like, oh, I love her arms. They love the toned arms, right? Because when you compete, typically, you'll notice that because when we're bodybuilding, we're sculpting. Why are you laughing?
People would come up to you in the grocery store and be like, I love your arms.
To you?
No, to you.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember being with you.
It was so weird. People would just they'd want to touch me. And I'm like, hi, that's not okay. That's my arm, not yours. And thankfully, I was like, oh, thank you. Because I know it's short-lived, the time that you're that lean. And so it's kind of fun, it's cool. So I didn't mind that looking like a freak show. But shoulders, we spend a lot of time on shoulders in basically every division of bodybuilding, from bikini to men's bodybuilding. All of us are doing shoulders.
Yes, all the time.
Obviously, if there's competitors that don't need to build them because they're outgrowing, but that's a different conversation. But lots and lots of shoulders, and it's not just one shoulder exercise. What's in your shoulder program right now?
Definitely an overhead press, a lateral raise, front raise with cables. I do a lot of single arm shoulder things, which are more focused on that one muscle versus if you're lifting with two arms, you're just sometimes, but pretty much not a ton of shoulders.
Don't neglect your shoulders, especially for those women that want a tinier appearing waist. The broader your shoulders are, the smaller your waist is going to look. So just remember that with bodybuilding, everything is about an aesthetic and a goal look, which is usually this X shape, this X frame, right? Broad shoulders, tiny waist, and a symmetrical lower half, which is what we're all usually working towards for the most part, depending on the division. So shoulders play a huge role in that. So when people come to me, new competitors who've come from different coaches and they do shoulders once a week, it's 2 exercises.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, whoa, your life is about to be changed right now.
I think everyone could benefit from doing more shoulders.
I agree.
I mean, you just look completely different. A rounded capped shoulder, you just know, oh, she lifts.
I was looking at your wedding picture that you made me, of me and you, and I'm like, they do arms.
They do arms. They be lifting.
Those girls, I'm going to be so happy 100 years from now when I'm looking at that and be like, that's right, I did arms.
Oh, yeah.
Top picks as a coach for your women who want to be on birth control.
Ooh.
Does it affect it? I would say that she's probably asking about muscle building. If I had my say in the world, and this is a very bold statement, I would prefer that we weren't on birth control, but I know that's not a thing. But 2, I would say, in my opinion, and things that I've read, and along the same lines with other top bodybuilding coaches who I've read their data, materials, and programs and education, is a non-hormonal IUD is usually the first choice because it is non-hormonal and isn't going to disrupt your current hormonal balance and pattern. I have lots and lots of continual struggles with my clients who are on birth control when it comes to losing fat and or building muscle, because you are putting synthetic hormones in your body that are not the bodybuilding type, okay? Which, I mean, what's the worst of the two? I don't even know, but
oh, hey, she's making points.
Yeah. So
dang.
So yeah, so that's generally the go-to.
I mean, yes, in a perfect world, no woman would be on birth control, because the things that it does to your body, it's terrible. And we see it day to day, just in check-ins,
And you have experience with this too.
Absolutely. I've had both IUDs before, the hormonal and non-hormonal. They both gave me terrible issues. The non-hormonal one, I was on the floor crying with cramps and it was a nightmare. And then getting those things in and out is extremely painful. So it's just, they've just messed with me either way. So I'm on a natural cycles, non-hormonal birth control, which I take my temperature in the morning. I tell the app, and the app's like, green, you're good to go, unprotected sex, or red, you're not good to go, strap up.
So you're
that's it.
So what you're saying is you are not on birth control at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I knew that, but I was just reiterating that. Yeah.
So you're saying?
Yes. So you're saying there's a chance I can have a grandbaby?
Oh God, I took a pregnancy test today, by the way.
You didn't even tell me.
Oh, I was like, it's negative. We're keeping it going.
God,
we're good.
All right.
We're doing great.
I love that.
Yes. But if you can get off of it, that would be fantastic.
Okay, we got like 4 of these questions. So
Okay.
they're all the same one, not different people.
Quad secrets. You want to know my secrets?
Top favorite quad exercises. For those that need to know what the quad is, that's a muscle that is on the front of your leg, that nice juicy thigh muscle that everyone wants to look so sculpted and toned.
I mean, leg extensions, girl. Do some leg extensions. Your squats are going to be huge in building your quads. Lunges for sure. I love narrow stance like Smith machine squats, even with your heels elevated. Ooh, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Those will hit.
The hack squat is another good one.
Oh, yeah. Hack squat's huge.
The problem with most people in growing their quads, and I am one of them, is
okay, let me hear it.
Yeah, is not enough range of motion to get that quad in the fully lengthened position to then need the appropriate amount of force to lift you out of whatever said thing.
Okay, so you just can't get low enough.
Yeah, that. I was trying to sound smart, but you can't get low enough. You need to be at the right depth for the profile of the machine or whatever the exercise is.
So you're telling me that's why you can't grow your quads?
Yeah, because I have a hard time spine loading anything. And so there is a point of diminishing returns for the amount of weight I'm able to lift unless I want to do it 50 reps.
Or you can just lower the weight and just tempo it
I don't really want to do
very
that.
slow. Very slow.
Maybe I'll let you train me one day.
You should.
I should.
Like 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up is a great tempo.
You know that threshold you talked about earlier that you have?
Yeah.
That's my threshold.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So screw you and your tempo squats.
Okay. Do your tempo squats.
Oh, okay.
If you can't get full range of motion, if you're scared of hurting your knees, do some heel elevated like goblet squats, which is going to be your heels are elevated on a plate, toes are turned out, and you squat up and down. Work on getting that depth because that will fire up your quads pretty immediately. And then when your heels are elevated, naturally you can squat a little bit lower.
Yes, you can, just by the way of the mechanics of how
Ankle
everything is
mobility
aligned.
as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
But leg extensions are, they're a go-to. I do them twice a week, so
yeah, I mean,
throw those in there.
Yeah, and definitely your lunges and your squats. Yes.
Another quads to grow, glute exercises that don't hurt your back.
Good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like to start with a glute warm-up with a booty band. A booty band warm-up, you can find some on YouTube that are like 3 minutes long. They will kill your glutes. And then take down the weight. Take down the weight. Start with some hip thrusters. Get comfortable with it. Actually feel your butt moving. If you're thrusting all over the place, that you're not helping anyone. You're definitely not helping your glutes. So, and you definitely don't want any arch in your back during a hip thrust as well.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like most of the glute exercises we do don't ever hurt my back. It's mainly leg day things.
Yeah, I would go too heavy on my hip thrusters and end up throwing out my back for sure.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. It's been a minute. But generally, you can do like hip bridges too. Barbell hip bridges are actually pretty friendly on your spine because just the range of motion is a little bit different. So.
Yes. So if you're hurting your back in some of these movements, just take down the weight. Okay. You're not going to hurt anyone. Take your ego down. It'll be okay.
Do you include calves in your workouts? I swear they're throwing shade right now.
I do now. Oh, hey, 14-inch calves.
Oh, did you measure? You measure them?
She grew. Okay.
Damn. Okay.
I started doing them twice a week.
You're working against your genetics. I'm so proud of you. That's like a standing joke in our family because I have 0 calves. My dad has 0 calves and my poor children.
Hey.
Okay, all the HRT info for us old ladies. This was a question that came in. So HRT is hormone replacement therapy. I am not the said guru on HRT. All I know is it has changed my life. And so I'm like a prophet of HRT. And I feel like I must tell every woman who's over 40 that they need to have their blood work done and see what their hormones are, which in fact, I just got my blood work done and I got my results back yesterday. My testosterone is at 10.
No.
Yes.
You stopped taking your HRT.
Well, every time I take my labs, I make sure that it is away from my testosterone shot. So it was 7 days since my last shot.
Oh.
Yeah. So at 7 days, it's basically, for the most part, out of my system. And that's just my natural levels, which is garbaggio.
That is garbaggio.
Yeah. So HRT is great. So just to recap, I've talked about it a million times on the podcast, but hormone replacement therapy, I'm speaking specifically about testosterone. There are other, areas of hormone replacement therapy that you can work with. But for that, we all have testosterone, women and men. It's just we have less than our male counterparts. And as we age, that declines. And with that declines a lot of other things, right? Energy, mood, motivation, sex drive, strength, just that like kind of zest for life. Testosterone is
totally the motivation.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's incredibly helpful, and it does wonders for your physique as well. It does help preserve your muscle tissue that you have, keeps you leaner, and helps you build more muscle. But you do it through a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suggest everyone go get their hormones checked.
Yeah, you've done it too.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
It makes a huge difference, even mentally. It's huge.
And we're going to end on this note, but some sweet person said, not a question, you're a beauty and love to see your daughter up there with you too.
Oh,
I just didn't want to turn my head. I should have just turned my head instead of sounding like a robot right now. Okay, well, that was super fun. I'm glad we got on and talked about muscle building. And you, Missy, you want to take on some muscle building athletes.
I do.
People, friends, family, people who want to build muscle.
I would love to have some like serious people who want to just build muscle. You want to change the shape of your body? Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's F around and find out.
Right. And work with you online or in person.
Yeah. And people who have been like athletes in the past, definitely they know like the discipline, like what it takes, having something active and doing something like weight training and dedicating yourself to it. It just feels great.
It does. Having a goal,
having something, something for yourself. Do it for yourself, boo-boo.
So we're doing the Goddess Body Project, which we talked about, Amanda and I talked about on our podcast. She's doing a cut, you're doing a build. And we thought, well, this would be fun, right? So she's got a new handful of cutting clients for the Goddess Body Project, which starts May 1st.
May 1st.
And we thought, well, let's bring you on, talk about your journey, and you can have some people go along the journey with you that you are personally coaching, right? Because you do that already. So they'll get a program to lift in the gym.
Yeah. Weight training in the gym at least 3 to 4 days a week, like I had said previously. And if you're already in the gym and you're like, maybe I need a little guidance. Like maybe you're not following a program and haven't done anything with a diet coach before.
Yeah.
Like if you want to completely change yourself up and like upgrade, go to the next level, like that's when you outsource that.
Yes.
Yes. You find someone that knows how to help you. If you want to change your life, go do it.
Yeah. Yes. Make some moves. So it's 12 weeks. And like we said in this podcast, no muscle built bound body was made overnight, which AKA would be 12 weeks.
Yeah.
However, some crazy good changes in 12 weeks can start to occur in that process. And, working with you, and also they'll be working on their nutrition as well. So if you're not like interested in dieting, right? Oh my gosh, God forbid a woman not want to diet. And you want to get strong and change the shape of your body and understand what that process looks like and start to really get it. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. You're going to decrease your overall body fat, gain some muscle mass, and create structure and routine that you're going to love.
Yeah. And
make it sustainable.
It's very similar to the way that we would do things with a cut. They're going to check in with you every week and you talk to them like a little talking head, like we all do with our clients when we give them instructions.
I love it. Let's build some muscle.
So anyhow, if you are curious about that, I will link that up in the show notes. Or you can DM me. Or you can just,
you can DM me.
You can, DM either one of us. We'll get you set up with what you need to know. We'll answer any questions you have. But 12 weeks, check-ins, weight training program, cardio if needed, maybe not.
Diet coaching.
Yep. Macros or meal plan, weekly check-ins, all that fun stuff. Keeping your ass on track. Super important. So that is our muscle building quest.
Yay.
For all the beautiful people in our world. Thank you for joining us tonight, and go lift some heavy shit.
Eat your protein, do your cardio.
Yes. Make good choices.
Boss.
Thank you for listening to Boss Bitch Radio. It would mean the world to me if you could rate and review the podcast. If you could give us a 5-star review on iTunes, drop us a little comment. We will read those, and we offer prizes as a ethical bribe for you to leave us some great mojo and words of affirmation. You know, that is my love language. And also, if you're over on Spotify, you can rate and review it there as well. All of this helps other women, other people, other folks see us, hear us, and learn from all of the amazing boss bitch tools and hacks, and hopefully get some LOLs. And if not, if anything, if you could share this with one person, I'd love you forever. And I know you are just here for my undying love. And last but not least, please, 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 please come find me over on Instagram so we can be buddies. We can be Insta fam over there. I am Diane Flores _IFBB_pro. Come say hi, drop me a DM, let me know what you think of the podcast. I'm always open for new suggestions and feedback as well. And I hope you listen again soon.